First item that vanishes from Costco during a grid collapse is not water. It is not canned food. It is not batteries. Most people get the entire priority list backwards. You have 12 hours. That is the documented window between the moment the grid drops and the moment shelves are bare. After that, you're competing with 60,000 panicked households for what's left. Item number 4 on this list costs under $15. It has nothing to do with food, water, or power, and it will prevent the single fastest public health failure that follows every documented grid collapse in modern history. This is the complete list. 11 items, exact products, exact prices, exact depletion timelines, pulled from field manuals, after-action reports, and real deployment experience. Most people will watch this and still grab the wrong things first. You won't be most people. Item 1. Kirkland acetaminophen and ibuprofen, 500 count bottles, under $12 each. This is the item that separates trained personnel from civilians. You're not grabbing this for a headache. You're grabbing it because pain management and fever reduction are the backbone of every sustained field operation ever conducted. Class 8 medical supply doctrine puts analgesics at the top of the priority list, not antibiotics, not surgical kits, analgesics. The reason is simple. A person in uncontrolled pain cannot function. A child with a fever that won't break becomes a casualty multiplier. One sick kid pulls 2 adults off every other task. That's 3 people down from one untreated fever. Now here's the part most people don't know. In every documented economic collapse of the past 30 years, over-the-counter pain medication outperformed gold as a barter good, not matched it, outperformed it. After action reporting from post-invasion, Iraq identified analgesics as the highest transaction volume barter item in civilian markets. Sarajevo during the siege, same finding. Venezuela from 2016 onward, same finding. You know what didn't trade? Gold coins, silver bars, precious metals sat in pockets while ibuprofen moved through every neighborhood like currency. We'll come back to why later in this video. Costco stocks these in bulk, 500 tablets, Kirkland brand. You're looking at roughly $12 per bottle. Grab 2 bottles of acetaminophen, 2 bottles of ibuprofen, 4 bottles, under $50. That's pain and fever management for a family of 4 for weeks. It's also the single most liquid barter asset you can acquire in a 40-minute shopping run. Parents with sick children will trade almost anything for children's pain relief. Elderly caregivers recognize the threat before anyone else, and they clear these shelves within hours of a confirmed outage. By the time the average household even thinks about medication, the shelf is bare. You're not the average household. You're there first. Your running total is under $50. Your clock reads 0 hours elapsed. You're already ahead of 95% of the people who'll walk through those doors today. I've put together a complete breakdown on grid collapse preparation that covers everything you need to know. First link in the description. Item 2. Flat bottled water, 24 and 40 count cases. Everyone knows to buy water. Almost no one understands how fast it disappears. Documented depletion at Costco during announced weather emergencies is under 90 minutes, not hours, minutes, and that's during an announced event where people have advance warning. A grid collapse hits without a press conference. The depletion curve is faster. FM 305.70 specifies 1 gallon per person per day as the operational minimum. That's the floor, not the ceiling. In high heat conditions, the requirement doubles. A family of 4 needs 12 gallons just to cover a 72-hour window at minimum consumption. That's roughly 5 cases of Costco's 40-count half-liter bottles. 5 cases. That's what you need. Not 1 case, not 2. 5. Here's what the untrained buyer does wrong. They grab 1 case, maybe 2. They feel prepared. They're not. They've covered about 18 hours of hydration for a family of 4. Then they're dry. And now they're competing with 60,000 other households for whatever's left at gas stations, convenience stores, and grocery outlets that are also running on empty. You're loading 5 cases onto a flatbed cart before the parking lot fills up. Each case runs roughly $4 to $6 depending on size. You're spending under $30 on water. That's 72 hours of hydration for 4 people at the cost of a fast food meal. Your running total is under $80. Time elapsed is still within the first hour of the event. Item 3. Propane cylinders, 20-pound exchange tanks, and 1-pound camping canisters. This is where civilians make one of the most expensive mistakes in emergency preparation. They buy generators. A standard portable generator consumes 12 to 18 gallons of gasoline every 24 hours. Do the math. A 72-hour window requires 36 to 54 gallons of gasoline. Most people don't have 10 gallons in their garage, and the gas stations are running on electric pumps that just went dark. Propane solves 3 problems simultaneously. It powers your grill for cooking. It runs portable camp stoves. It fuels catalytic heaters for warmth. 1 fuel source, 3 critical functions. And unlike gasoline, propane stores indefinitely. No stabilizer required, no degradation curve. A 20-pound tank you bought 3 years ago works exactly the same as one you bought today. Costco stocks limited propane because of fire code restrictions on indoor retail storage. Most locations carry fewer than 100 units across both sizes on the sales floor at any given time. That's not a lot when 60,000 households are all trying to solve the same problem. Depletion window is 3 to 5 hours. You want 1 20-pound exchange tank and a case of 1-pound camping canisters. The exchange tank runs roughly $20 to $25. The camping canisters run roughly $15 to $20 for a pack. You're spending under $50 on cooking and heating fuel that will outlast any generator setup costing 10 times as much. One note on butane. Some people will grab butane camping canisters instead. Butane's vapor pressure drops below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Below freezing, butane canisters produce inconsistent flame or fail entirely. If you're in a winter grid collapse, butane is unreliable. Propane works in any temperature you'll encounter. Your running total is under $130. You've covered pain management, hydration, and fuel. 3 categories. 1 cart, under 2 hours since the grid dropped. Item 4, cat litter, Kirkland brand, clay-based clumping, 40-pound bucket, under $15. This is the item I teased at the top. And this is where I lose the people who aren't paying attention, because this has nothing to do with cats. When the grid drops, municipal water pressure follows within 24 to 72 hours. Most people don't understand why. Municipal water systems run on electric pumping stations. No grid, no pumps. No pumps, no pressure. No pressure, no flush. Your toilet stops working. Not because it's broken, because there's no water pushing through the system. FM 21-10. Field Hygiene and Sanitation. This manual exists because the military learned the hard way what happens when sanitation fails in the field. Dysentery, cholera, hepatitis A. These aren't third world problems. These are any population density problem when waste management collapses, and it collapses fast. A 5-gallon bucket lined with a heavy-duty trash bag and filled with 4 to 6 inches of clay-based cat litter creates a functional emergency latrine. It controls odor. It absorbs moisture. It reduces pathogen exposure. It's the exact same principle behind every field expedient latrine the military has used for decades. 1 bucket serves a family of 4 for roughly 3 to 4 days with regular bag changes. The used bags seal, contain, and can be disposed of safely. Here's the critical timing advantage. At hour 12, every shelf in the food and water aisles is bare. The propane is gone. The batteries are gone. But the cat litter aisle is untouched. Nobody in a panic is thinking about sanitation. They're fighting over the last case of water. You're walking calmly past them, loading a 40-pound bucket of litter onto your cart and solving the problem that's going to hit them in 48 hours when their toilets back up and their living space becomes a biohazard. Cat litter also provides traction on ice during winter events. It absorbs oil and chemical spills. It can be used as a moisture barrier in improvised shelter construction. 1 item. 5 functions, $15. Your running total is under $145. You've now covered pain management, hydration, fuel, and sanitation. 4 critical systems, 1 cart, 1 store. Now I need you to stop and pay attention to what just happened. Because this next part is not another item. This is context that changes how you understand everything on this list. February 2021. Winter storm, Uri hit Texas. The ERCOT grid collapsed, not for hours, for days. Temperatures dropped into the single digits across a state where most homes use electric heat. Pipes froze. Rolling blackouts became permanent blackouts, and every big box retailer in the state experienced the exact depletion pattern I just described to you. H-E-B, Costco, Sam's Club. Complete sellouts of bottled water within hours. Propane gone. Baby formula gone. Cold weather clothing stripped from racks. This happened in the 10th largest economy on Earth, inside the continental United States, less than 5 years ago. But here's the detail that didn't make the news cycle. After the water ran out and the pipes froze, toilets stopped working. Within 48 hours, households without sanitation alternatives were dealing with fecal contamination in their living spaces. That's not speculation. That's documented public health reporting from Texas County emergency management agencies. The cat litter claim isn't theory. It's validated by the most recent large-scale grid failure on record. Everything I've told you about items 1 through 4 just played out exactly as described, in real time, to real families, in a state most people consider fully modern and fully prepared. They weren't. Now you know why. And now you know why item 4 is on this list before canned food. Item 5, heavy-duty contractor trash bags, 3 mil thickness, 100 count box, under $20. 3 mil is the number that matters. Your kitchen trash bags are 0.5 to 1 mil. They tear when you look at them wrong. Contractor-grade bags at 3 mil thickness are a different material entirely. They hold 50 pounds. They resist puncture from debris, gravel, and broken glass. And they serve more functions in a degraded environment than almost any other single item you can buy. The Marine Corps teaches this in field training. Heavy plastic is one of the most versatile materials you can carry. Here's what 1 box of contractor bags gives you. Emergency rain shelter. Cut-along seams, taped to a frame, you've got a waterproof roof. Ground cover to keep sleeping gear dry. Water collection liners for catching rain. Waste containment bags for your cat litter latrine setup. Sleeping bag vapor barriers that trap body heat and keep moisture out. And in prolonged events, casualty handling, that's a function nobody wants to think about. But in any event lasting more than 72 hours, it's a function that becomes necessary. 1 box, 100 bags, under $20. Each bag is a potential shelter wall, water catchment, or sanitation liner. Civilians walk past this aisle entirely. They don't see the application. You do. Your running total is under $165. Item 6, shelf-stable canned chicken, 6 canned packs. This is the protein item that vanishes fastest after water. Canned chicken delivers roughly 300 calories per can with substantial protein content. It requires no cooking, no refrigeration. No preparation infrastructure of any kind. MRE doctrine emphasizes ready-to-eat protein for a specific reason. Cooking infrastructure is the first capability to fail in a grid-down environment. Your stove is electric, your microwave is electric. Even if you have propane, you may not have the means to cook safely indoors during the early hours of an event. Canned chicken solves the problem entirely. Pop the lid. Eat. Done. Most people head straight for the canned soup and pasta aisles. They're grabbing items that require boiling water they may not be able to heat. They're grabbing items packed with sodium that increases water consumption. They're solving the wrong problem. You want calorie-dense, protein-rich, zero preparation food. Canned chicken. Canned tuna works too, but chicken has a milder flavor profile that children and elderly family members are more likely to eat without resistance. A 6 pack runs roughly $10 to $12. Grab 2 packs, that's 12 cans. Roughly 3,600 calories of ready-to-eat protein. Enough to supplement your family's intake for 72 hours without touching your cooking fuel supply. Depletion window on this item is 4 to 6 hours. It's not the first thing to go, but it's gone well before the 12-hour mark. Your running total is under $190. Item 7. Disposable nitrile examination gloves, 200 count box, under $20. This is another item that civilians walk past because they associate it with house cleaning. That association will cost people their health in any event lasting more than 72 hours. Tactical Combat Casualty Care Protocol is clear. Gloves before any patient contact. No exceptions. You don't touch wounds without gloves. You don't handle waste without gloves. You don't process contaminated water without gloves. You don't clean up debris containing mold, sewage, or chemical residue without gloves. Hurricane Katrina after action reporting documented exactly what happens when civilians ignore this. Self-help responders who handled wounds, sewage, and contaminated floodwater without hand protection experienced secondary infection cascades. Staph infections, cellulitis, wound sepsis. In a grid-down environment without access to urgent care or antibiotics, a secondary infection from contaminated hands becomes a life-threatening event. 200 gloves is 100 pairs, at 5 to 10 pairs per day during active cleanup and sanitation operations. That's a 10 to 20-day supply. $20, still on the shelf at hour 12 because nobody is thinking about infection control while they're fighting over bottled water. Your running total is under $210. Now here's where I need to correct something that half the people watching this video believe right now, and I'm not saying it to be dismissive. I'm saying it because this belief will cost you real capability if you act on it during an actual event. Gold and silver will not function as barter currency during a collapse. I know that contradicts what you've read on every prepper forum and every survival channel. But every documented economic collapse of the past 30 years produced the same finding. Every single one. Sarajevo during the Bosnian War, Venezuela from 2016 onward, post-Soviet Russia in the early 1990s. The actual high-value trade goods were cigarettes, alcohol, antibiotics, batteries, lighters, and small denomination cash. Precious metals had near zero transactional velocity. The reason is straightforward. You can't subdivide a gold coin at the point of need. If you have a 1-ounce gold coin and you need a bottle of ibuprofen, there's no mechanism to make change. There's no trust infrastructure to support fractional valuation. There's no agreed-upon exchange rate in a parking lot barter market. Deployment experience in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Bosnia confirmed the same pattern every time. The items on this list, analgesics, batteries, bleach, honey, are the actual barter portfolio that documented history validates. I've written a complete guide on crisis preparation that goes deeper than any single video can. It's in the description if you want something you can print and keep offline. The gold and silver fantasy isn't just wrong, it's expensive, and it displaces real preparedness spending on items that actually move when the shelves empty. Now look at your cart. Everything in it has dual purpose, personal survival and trade value. That's not an accident, that's doctrine. Item 8. AA and AAA batteries. Kirkland 48 count packs. 2 sizes. That's it. AA and AAA power 90% of the battery-operated devices your household owns. Headlamps, flashlights, radios, remote controls, smoke detectors. Wall clocks, medical devices like blood glucose monitors and blood pressure cuffs, children's toys that will keep kids occupied.